April Ross is our special guest tonight, and we'd like to bring her center stage to share some of her story. April?
Had a little bit of a foot in my arm. Hello, can you hear me? All right, we're good. We're in action. Hi, everybody. So happy to be here. Project Safe, wow, the work you do. Thank you so much for inviting me tonight. I have my parents here in the audience. I can't see anybody because it's just, to me, it's just a black out there. But Kevin and Granada, they've been very supportive with me through everything I've gone through. I'm happy to be invited out here tonight. This is just an amazing experience. So I've had, in fact, Wednesday will be my 4th life-versary, my 4th year surviving the shooting. And I call it my life-versary because to me it was a renewal and a chance for me to start over and continue living and prove that when you come out of the worst you can possibly imagine, you don't have to stop there. So if there are any survivors in the audience, I have something to say to you. As hard as it may have been to leave, as hard as it may be to leave, if you're thinking about it or you're in a situation, you can do it and you can still live a renewed life, and you can live a life to the fullest. I drive, I live on my own, I went back to work, I go out with friends, I do all the things that I thought I was never gonna be able to do again. And I do them just as much as I even dance, so they're trying to already get me out here, but we don't know if that's gonna happen or not. I'm not gonna make any promises. But I would just say that, you know, it is hard. Leaving is one of the hardest things. And I would say to the audience in general, everybody, whether you are in or have ever experienced an abusive relationship, whether you have been close to someone who's experienced it, we all have an obligation to know signs of abuse, to understand domestic violence, and to understand why it is hard for someone enduring it to get away. And even me, as a prosecutor, someone who works with victims every day and even victims of domestic violence, I did not know the signs that would have put me in a dangerous situation walking away from my marriage. So I say that to say, domestic violence is a problem in our society. It's an epidemic, and we all have a responsibility to understand it if we're going to ever eradicate it. And finally, to anybody out there who works in the area of domestic violence, working with victims, survivors, it is tough work, and I just want to clap for you right now because I can tell you, as a prosecutor, as an advocate, and as someone who has worked closely with victims for years, it is one of the hardest cases for me to prosecute. You have every type of horrible story. You've got victims that no matter how bad they've been treated, abused, beaten, they still are having a hard time breaking that bond. And that is a hard thing for an advocate to figure out how to deal with. But the folks out there that do this work, we do it every day, and you manage it, and I just commend you. And for Project Safe, helping people to have safe escape routes from violence and safe escape routes from abusers who would do potentially fatal harm to them for trying to leave a relationship. Thank you for the work you do, Project Safe. And finally, yes. I just want to reiterate, I want everyone out there to make it their business to understand signs of abuse. My relationship was never physically abusive until I left, and it was almost fatally abusive. Violent. It was not violent until I left, but it was abusive. Know the signs so that you can help yourself and potentially someone else. I am so happy to be a judge here tonight. I'm happy for the work you do. Let's all continue. Let's all make it our job. Let's spread it to someone else. Let them catch the bug so that we can get this venue even bigger next year. And just keep on, everybody. Keep going. Thank you so much.
several